the Wayne Bradley Show. Conservative political radio. Giving you what you need to know. Listen up, it's the Wayne Bradley Show. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. Conservative political radio. Giving you what you need to know. Listen up, it's the Wayne Bradley Show. That's what it is. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. That's what it is. Listen up, it's the Wayne Bradley Show. Oh, it's the Wayne Bradley Show. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. Yeah.
And welcome to the Wayne Bradley Show, live on 9:10 a.m. your superstation. Been a great day here in the city of Detroit, you know. Just got back from Lansing. A powerful day in Lansing. They were honoring William Webb Ferguson, the first black legislator in the state of Michigan, a Republican, if you didn't know. But it was a great afternoon. Thanks for the Michigan Black Caucus, Legislative Black Caucus, to put on the event. Glad that it was a bipartisan celebration that we were able to do. Got a lot to talk about. It's a lot going on in Washington, D.C. I'm just getting to the news myself on all the things that are going on in the White House, but it looks like Hope Hicks, the White House communications director, is stepping down, is resigning from the White House. It sounds like President Trump, you know, he makes changes, and it's going to be it's going to be interesting to see what goes on here. So we got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about the gun issue debate. Sounds like President Trump also stepped into that today, as he basically said, he told the senators, I've got the clip that I want you guys to hear about that discussion soon here, that President Trump was having with the senators. But basically he said something that, I don't know, I'm sure some gun owners, it concerned them. He voiced support for confiscating guns from certain individuals deemed to be dangerous, even if it violates due process rights. I like taking the guns early. Like in this crazy man's case, that just took place in Florida. To go to court would have taken a long time. Take the guns first, go through a due process second. Now, that is an interesting take on the Second Amendment. That's not exactly how it works. And I don't know if that's going to help in this situation, but got a lot going on, man. Hope Hicks resigning from the White House, obviously on the national front, is the biggest story out right now in the national circuit, because Trump, it says here, Trump berated Hicks for admitting to Congress that she has lied for the president. Ooh. That does not sound good. Doesn't sound like that's it's a mess right now. It doesn't sound very good in the White House right now with that. Hope Hicks knows a lot, and Hope Hicks resigns. Jared Kushner has lost his clearances, and Mueller is continuing his investigation. There's a lot going on in Washington, D.C. right now. I think the Mueller investigation, the more and more they're going after it, it has nothing to do with the original intent, which was Russian collusion, but it's looking like financial crimes and going after people for their money, whether it's his son-in-law or him himself. But this is why you don't hire your son-in-law or your daughter to work in the White House, because you don't want them ensnared in these kind of things, and it's not looking good right now. We already got a caller on the line, so I'm gonna guess we'll go to Jesse, who's on the line. Jesse, thanks for calling in.
Hey, Wayne, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. Hey, Wayne, this is Jesse out of the 13th.
Yes, sir.
When you get a candidate, or you might already have one, but when you get a candidate in, the first order of business is the status of right now who is actually running the district. And Ken Locke was elected chair.
Right.
But he got business with the court.
Okay.
So, that's for your candidate in particular, but every candidate. Most of the candidates I hear talking about running, they don't even live in the district, but we'll deal with them at a time. But Ian called in or he got with you on Monday night.
He called in unexpectedly. That was totally. I did not expect him to call in. I guess he had chimed in from watching on Facebook, but I give him credit. Most Democrats would not do that.
Hey, here's the thing. He was the treasurer, and I'm a UAW member.
Okay.
And in 2 years, 15 and 16, the UAW gave $7,500 to the district, and I'm a member.
Okay.
And the only way I found out about it, they got the money, I saw the financial report. But that was 2015 and 2016. Now, to my knowledge, it was a total of $7,500. But in 3 years, today is the last day of February. And Kinlock got elected 3 years ago.
Okay.
Next election coming up next February. But check this out. In 3 years, the members, the precinct delegates, and the party members, dues-paying members, have never got a mail-in for a meeting in 3 long years. Now, I don't know if because Eon wouldn't turn the money loose for the stamps or what, and that's not hitting them real hard. But somehow, $7,500 and not one mail-in in 3 years.
So how are you aware of when it's congressional meetings? Is it through email? Is that their method of communication?
Well, some email, but I'm just saying, you can understand when you don't have a good turnout, and that's, first of all, if you don't mail to the members and the precinct delegates, then that's an inside job.
Well, that's what I was about to say. Are you insinuating that they didn't want the delegates there and they want to keep it in their little club?
I'm not insinuating.
Okay.
I am saying that my union, and they didn't even let me know that they, matter of fact, I wrote a letter to the guy that run CAP, Community Action Program, down in Solidarity House. I wrote a letter to him and told him that my union was giving money to the district and they wouldn't even spend money on stamps. I got a letter back from him, told me, he said they done checked all their books, and he said that the UAW do not give money to the district. Yeah, that's I got the letter, okay?
Okay.
Well, we'll deal with that at another time. But like I said, I appreciate how you talk to people when they call in. Well, you guys make the show, Jesse. I mean, I'm just here. I'm just hosting. You guys, the callers and the listeners, are the folks that make this show. So I appreciate when you call in and are talking about what we consider relevant issues right here in our communities, in our district. And people need to know that what's going on in the 13th district. And if you're saying that you didn't get invited, then that's an issue. After I read the Detroit news today,
I
can understand why the UAW won't answer my letters. Because the FBI is down there.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I'm wondering what candidate is running to the UAW for support. Because how can they divorce themselves from, how can they get involved in the election like they're doing with the FBI there? You know the one. You understand what I'm saying? Well,
maybe that's why the FBI is there in the first place, Jesse. Maybe
I'm just a precinct delegate and a rank and file.
Right.
Okay? And I also got a red file. Thank you very much.
Well,
thanks a lot, man.
Thanks, Jesse. I appreciate you for calling in, man.
All right.
Let's go to one of my favorite callers calling in, chiming in here early on. Let's go to Abdullah. What's up, Abdullah?
Well, thank you for taking my call, and thanks to all of those wise and progressive thinking people that's out there that's listening for this. And what I would like to say, I'm so glad that Almighty God, the creator of the universe, hear my prayer.
All right.
What happened today, and it's going to be more of that happening, the ones leaving Donald Trump. See, because what Donald Trump is doing, I'm not a Republican, I'm a Democrat, but he making the Republican Party look bad.
No,
and some of them realize that at the top, so they said, well, no, we're not going to be a part of that because they're making us look bad. Now, any person, I don't care who it is, see, actually, and I'm a native of this country, and I appreciate the ones who come in here, we let in here. Any person that joins somebody and praise somebody like the Russians, see, and don't understand what the Russians are doing, they've been trying to take over this country for years. You know, I'm an old man, and I've seen this happen. It's they call it criminal. Now he's getting into bed with them. I just put it like that.
Who's getting into bed with him?
Donald Trump.
Oh, come on now.
All you got to do is listen to what he said. And I think he really thinks that, because he said that once, right there in Washington, D.C., that he could do anything, get in the street and shoot and all that, and the ones that supporting him would still support him. So what he's saying,
he was exaggerating that day, Abdullah. I think we all have to.
What he said. You heard it. But now and what Donald Trump also is all about, it's about the billionaires that's with him. He's not concerned. You may be liking him or going for him, but he ain't for you either.
Talking about me? You talking about me? Are you talking about me, Abdullah? He's not for me. You saying he's not for me either? Is that what you said?
No, not for no poor people or middle class people. He's for them billionaires. That's what he's for. Okay. And anybody that can't see that, well, I'm not gonna say.
Well, I mean, you know, the tax plan has worked good for everyone. I don't understand that. Of course, it worked well for the rich. I mean, most legislative laws it's not very often that legislative laws are put in effect that hurt the rich people. Can we agree on that, Abdullah?
Well, the rich people are not for you. Anytime I'm going to support somebody that's not for me and trying to bring me down and take everything for themselves, I mean, you look at it like there's something wrong with that person. Just go do that. Go destroy himself for somebody that don't get nothing about him. I mean, that's sad.
Yeah,
but it's a God, brother, and the Almighty God going to bring this thing to end. He's not going to be able. The Russians, they think he's ignorant too. That, well, we got a man in there now that we can go in and take over. We've been trying a long time, but it's not going to happen. That's all I got to say. Just watch, and there's some things that's fixing to happen this year. You're going to be shocked. Some things are happening already. Our Minister Farrakhan said, watch what's going to happen, and just, what do you think will happen this year? And a lot of things he told us would happen. He watched the weather. He told us about what happened in California was going to happen, about the earthquakes are fixing to come in. And some more things that's fixing to take place. So let's mark it down.
All right, well, we're gonna see what's going to happen, Abdullah. I think.
I want you to see. I'm not going to say it.
All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Keep your eyes open.
They're always open. Thank you, sir.
All right.
All right. All right, let's go to John, who's on the line. John, thanks for calling in.
Wayne, last time I talked to you, you get ready to eat some curry chicken, so I hope it would taste good to you. About Chuck, Wayne. I know you get paid, but
hey, you guys are sure hoping and waiting for this man's downfall so I can feel bad. It's amazing me. Nothing happening
Wayne, hey, Wayne, don't put that on the people, Wayne. He's doing it to himself, Wayne. Ain't nobody making a fool out of him, but he's making a fool out of himself. No. So now, don't blame the people for it, Wayne.
I'm not, hey, listen, I think
every time he opens his mouth, people scratch their heads. What did he mean, or what did he stand, and so forth. And in fact, these are gun nuts, Wayne wackos. I put it, Wayne wackos. I mean, they're going crazy about this people.
Well, because, it's unfortunate that the tragedies occur, and then people use the tragedy as a way to go after people's, guns.
Well, what you expect, Wayne?
I expect you to go after the bad guys.
That doggone Nazi down there in Florida had Nazi written on the guns that he was using. Don't you understand? People are going to get upset and have a big problem with that, Wayne.
I understand it, but I don't understand how a person that's not done anything wrong has to worry about their rights being infringed because of something someone else did. That's what I don't understand.
I mean, that goes with the territory. You got to take these guns out of your hands, out of these gun nuts that run around here shooting up the schools and shooting up churches and so forth, man. You got to put on your thinking cap, man. I mean, people know what's going on now. They can see what's going on and so forth. Now, I understand that you support him, but, man, you got to get some reality check about your knowledge and information with people and so forth. I mean, you sound like you a okay guy, but, man, come on, man. Open your eyes and let the people know that your eyes is wide awake and you're not going to put no rag over wood or rag over your eyes and so forth, man. And listen, Wayne, you got to understand that he about to be convicted and it going right up to his chest about being convicted with Putin. I told you he got Putin got him eating out of his hand, man.
Oh,
I mean, make no mistake about it, Wayne. They're eating out of Putin's hand, and now he's hot with it as the United States Attorney General and so forth because he won't come to his rescue.
All right, man. Well, listen, John, we're going to see what happens.
For the sake of your knowledge and your information and so forth, which you could be a nice gentleman, but you got to open up your eyes, Wayne, and don't touch it and terrorize your listeners like that, Wayne. I'll talk to you later, Wayne.
Thanks, John. I appreciate you for calling in, man. Oh, man, I love my callers, man. You guys are giving me the business today with all the stuff that's going on in the White House. And I get it. It's a rough day in the White House. So I guess some days I'm going to catch it, and this is one of those days. So what do you think about Donald Trump saying that he thinks we need to take the guns first from guys like the Nicholas Cruz? I get what he's saying. The emotions are running high right now, and there were warnings. And if there are warnings, should we take away the guns without due process? Give us a call. That sounds like a way to take guns from certain groups of people. Doesn't necessarily mean the group that I'm in, but certain groups of people. And we got to support individual liberties. Give us a call, 313-778-7600. Give us a call, 313-778-7600. So we're going to play that. You know what? Do we have enough time to play that clip? We're going to play it. We'll come back. When we come back, we're going to play the clip of Donald Trump talking to the senators, basically calling them scared. Which I thought was interesting. But, Donald Trump, he talks. He doesn't have any filter when it comes to delivering his message. So I guess when we come back, we'll listen to Donald Trump telling, and he mentioned that phrase before, being scared. So no man likes to be told he's scared by another man. We're going to see that. We're going to listen to that clip when we get back. You're listening to the Wayne Bradley Show on 9:10 a.m., the future of radio. We'll be back.
Bradley Show, political radio, giving you what you need to know. Listen up, it's the Wayne Bradley Show. That's what it is. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. That's what it is. Listen up, it's the Wayne Bradley Show.
This is Attorney Carl Collins III, and since 1996, I have successfully represented thousands of victims throughout these United States of America. If I can be of service to you, call me at 855-CAR-HIT-YOU.
9:10 a.m. Superstation is launching a new initiative called the 9:10 a.m. Ambassadors Program,
where schools will be provided a platform to allow their inspiring broadcast and media students to weekly broadcast highlighting their schools.
All we will need is a 60-second video taken from a smartphone, tablet, or video camera, highlighting a story at your school.
Whether it's featuring one of your athletic teams, a student organization helping in the community, a student being chosen for a scholarship, or a teacher's unique approach to relating to students.
Whatever weekly story will best show how your school is unique and set apart, that's what we want to promote.
Your weekly video will be featured on all our social media platforms, from Facebook to Instagram.
To receive more information or speak with our ambassador representative, email us at 910amradio@gmail.com.
And don't forget to watch and listen for your story soon on 9:10 a.m. Superstation, the future of radio.
9:10 a.m. Superstation is the voice of the people. Don't believe me? Just listen.
9:10 a.m. is constantly hot, from intense debate to the funniest commentary. 9:10 has it all.
We appreciate the love, and we can feel the support of the city. Keep it coming.
I love catching 9, 10 a.m. news on social media. It's the way I love my news. Short, simple, and straight to the point.
So when you think of 9, 10 a.m. Superstation, we want you to tune in, call in, and don't forget to find us on social media. We have it all, from motivation to outrage, from advice to empowerment.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Streaming live 24/7.
9, 10 a.m. Superstation. We are the future of radio.
It's the Wayne Bradley Show. Conservative Political Radio. Giving you what you need to know. Listen up. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. Conservative Political Radio. Giving you what you need to know. Listen up. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. That's what it is. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. That's what it is. Listen up. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. Yeah.
Welcome back to the Wayne Bradley Show. Now, you know, I like I was telling you before the break, we're going to go and listen to this clip of our dear president giving the senators the business. I want you to take a listen to this clip of him discussing gun control with senators.
Something on this background check issue and using that as a base, and then I would like to add some of these other things we've talked about, I think would make a major difference.
So if you could add that to this bill, that would be great, Diane. If you could add what you have also, and I think you can, into the bill.
Yeah.
Joe, are you ready?
Can you do that? Joe, can you do that, Pat? Can you add some of the things? You're not going to agree with me.
You help.
Well, no, I'll help, but can you add what Amy and what Diane have? Can we add them in? And I know you can add what John
I
has.
have another domestic violence bill that's very narrow, and it's about dating partners, and a number of states have just enacted it with Republicans.
We're going to get it passed.
Yeah.
We're going to get it passed. If you can add domestic violence paragraphs, pages into this bill, I'm all for it. I think it's terrific if you can do it. It can be done. That can be done too.
Mr. President, could I respectfully recommend that Steve Scalise, the vote counter in the House, is going to be in a key role in all this, and he's had a personal, near tragic experience with one of these mass shootings himself.
Good.
Well, appreciate, Mr. President, you convening everybody. Thank you, Senator Corner, my whip counterpart. The House did pass a bill, the bill dealing with fixing problems with our background check system. We also combined with it a bill that advanced concealed carry reciprocity. In other words, people that have concealed carry permits in one state being able to have that ability in another state with concealed carry laws that are on the books. And before that's immediately discounted, because I know when we passed our bill, there was, number one, I did have to whip that bill. It wasn't a bill that just automatically passed. And there were a lot of our members that said, look, we want to close these problems and fix these problems with the background check system. And we came together and actually passed a bill. But we also felt that if you look at the concealed carry population, these are people by and large who are helping us stop crimes. These are people who are well-trained, who actually go out there and help prevent crimes. So I would hope that that's not immediately dismissed, because there is a lot of talk of just putting that on the side. And
But Chief, I do think this. You know I'm your biggest fan of the whole world, all right? I think that maybe that bill will someday pass, but it should pass as a separate.
Interesting. So, do you think that the president's idea of...
No disrespect, I'm not trying to cut you off, Wayne, but your president's a piece of crap. What president really just sit there and say good?
Well, I think he was...
Like, he don't care. No matter what you try to say, Wayne, number 45, Donald Stump, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. I mean, like, come on, Wayne. You give me three things on. Give me three things on your president. Just give me three things on why you think he's such a good president. Like, what has he really done, Wayne? Like, just
he's lowered my taxes. That's first and foremost. He's got rid of a lot of regulations that's brought in more jobs. That's 2. And he's working on continuing to secure our borders and make sure that America, we're having the right immigration processes. That's 3. Those are 3 things that he got elected for. And number 4, he's not Hillary Clinton. How about that? That's why he got elected, folks. And when I hear people still question him, that's why he got elected. He's already announced his re-election campaign. He's already hired his political leader for this campaign. So, I mean, Donald Trump is rolling, folks. He's rolling. And I think that it's going to be very interesting to see how Republicans deal with this in terms of the gun control and things of that nature, because I know they're not going to agree with this. We got some calls here. We're going to take some calls. 313-778-7600.
What's your name?
All right. Give us a call, 313-778-7600 on the Wayne Bradley Show here on 910 a.m., your superstation. You know, as we panic now because of the Parkland tragedy, are we panicking too much? Are we now talking about confiscating your guns? Who is this person that is calling on the line? It's not making themselves clear. We'll take the calls, though. 313-778-7600. You're listening to the Wayne Bradley Show at 910 a.m., your superstation. I've got a question for you. Now, do you think that Donald Trump is being, again, honest when he's calling fellow Republicans scared of the NRA? I think that's a valid statement in the fact that the NRA is one of the most powerful and influential lobbying groups in the country. And so there is a hint of truth to what Donald Trump says, but I think that if he's willing to show the strong leadership, if he's willing, the problem is that a lot of these guys aren't willing to take a chance during election season. And that is the part where I think that that is where the people are wondering, what do we got going on here? Now, John Kelly, they're saying, might be in some kind of, he's doing the right thing. I think John Kelly, the chief of staff, he has made it to where he obviously took Jared Kushner off the list because he couldn't get a security clearance. Well, what do you think he's supposed to do? One, he's a military guy, so he's going to always be about the rules, always doing things the right way. And if he's done anything that could compromise the security of America, maybe it wasn't illegal but unethical, and those are the things that are getting the attention of these people making these red flags and clearance, then they need to deal with that situation, make sure there is nothing else unethical that's being done. Because I think that we have to understand the difference between being unethical and something being illegal. And it sounds like that some of the things that Jared Kushner was doing was even before the president took office. It was a transition period. And at that point, maybe he was leveraging his future position or his father-in-law's future position to get things done for his business. That is unethical, folks. It's not illegal, but it's unethical. What do you think? This is why you don't bring your son-in-law or your daughter or anybody like that close in politics, because you don't want to have to choose. You don't want them to have to be put in a position. Right now, John Kelly's probably on the hot seat with the president because he's making it harder for his son-in-law to have access to all the things that he needs as chief of staff. So I think that these are some very interesting times in the White House. Hope Hicks resigning. Mueller is the one person that I've always said that I would not want investigating me in my business or anything like that. And he's full steam ahead right now, folks. He is full steam ahead. And so he's questioning everything that Trump has done, including rallying against Jeff Sessions, what he did again today, which I'm no big fan of Jeff Sessions, but Donald Trump said what he's done is it's disgraceful. He said, "Will it take forever? Has no prosecutorial power and already late with reports on Comey, etc. Is the IG on Obama guy? Why not the Justice Department lawyers? Disgraceful. That was a tweet that the president sent out today. And so Jeff Sessions actually responded to these, and he got a little snipey in return. So I think there's a lot going on right now. I think there's a lot of people's patience being tested. And we're going to see more of that as we move on here in the White House. So give us a call, 313-778-7600. I didn't know about what Jesse said earlier about the UAW and the feds. I'm not going to speak on something I don't know anything about. So I'm going to look up a little bit more about that and see what I can find. But if the FBI is investigating the UAW, and if it's in regards to politics, that's not a good look. That is not a good look, folks. And I don't see anything in the paper about this. So, Jesse, if you know what's going on, I don't know. I don't see anything about it. I don't see anything about that today. But what I will tell you is that there has been what I would call unjust influence, probably by some of these organizations with the Republican Party. And, union workers should come, just like I always say about black folks, they should spread their time. And, there's a lot of UAW Republicans. I know that. I know in Livonia and all those different places downriver, there's Macomb County. They call them Reagan Democrats. Those guys are supported Donald Trump, and they probably will support him again the next time around because he's delivered on the promises he made to those folks. And I think that this is very interesting watching that. So there's a lot going on. 13th District is still filled with people, and as I predicted, Bill Wild is going to win. I think that is a real threat to win that seat because of so many people from Detroit that are potentially getting in the way and taking positions there. So we're going to talk about that some more here in the second half of the show. I want to thank Ian Kyers again for calling in that day. A lot, and I will give him credit, a lot of, in particular, candidates, and in particular Democrat candidates, would be leery of calling the Wayne Bradley show and going one-on-one with me. So I respect that. I am usually very welcoming to even, Democrats to come on here because we need to talk to issues. And I think that is most important. There's been a rumor out there right now that Benny Napoleon could be being considered for the lieutenant governor position under Whitmer. I think that's pretty risky. I like Benny Napoleon. I don't know if he's, if that's the qualification, but it just shows the Democrat Party in Michigan thinks that, hey, we can throw any black guy on here with Whitmer. And Duggan endorsed her today. And she's a throwback to the Jennifer Granholm era. It would be unfortunate after 8 years of progress that Rick Snyder has brought to Michigan that we would try to set back the clock and bring in somebody from the Granholm era to try to get Michigan. What can she possibly bring to Michigan that we haven't already seen under the Granholm era, and one that we don't really want to see again? It's an interesting time in politics, folks. We've got about 246 days, and things are only going to get more and more exciting. And I'm looking forward to that. So in the local news, like I said, would you support Gretchen Whitmer? Do you think that Benny Napoleon strengthens her ticket? Or is this, again, another one of these things where the Democrat Party just believes that they can throw any black guy? And that's no slight to Benny Napoleon, my former neighbor and a great sheriff and been a great police chief here in the city of Detroit. I just think that's an interesting pick. Give us a call, 313-778-7600. Who do you think is the favorite to win the 13th District, and who will you be supporting and why? I'm interested to find that out. I'd like to know why, who you're supporting and why. In this 13th, we have John Kyers III, we have Ian Kyers, we have Coleman Young, we have Rashid Tlaib, we have we've got a lot of folks in this race. Chanel Jackson's in that race. I mean, the list goes on. These are very prominent, well-known names. A lot of people that have obviously been angling and waiting for that seat. But that's a lot of people. How can that not split the votes a little bit there? And, I don't know how that's possible. It's going to be a very, very, very interesting 2018 election. And then it brings up another question. If Bill Weld wins, and would anyone consider supporting the black Republican that could very well be on the race in the 13th district? How about we really shake up the 13th district and elect a black Republican in the 13th district? I think people are starting to wonder. They're starting to hear, they're calling in about that. Let's go. We're gonna take some calls about this. I'm interested to see my listeners who they want to support here in this 13th district. It's gonna be messy. Let's go to Anthony, who's on the line. Oh, is this my boy Anthony? Oh man, I know he's calling in, probably to rag on me.
Of course, you want to talk about the 13th district while all this crap is going on.
Well, I mean, listen, man. It's all politics are local, man.
Wait a minute. Trump is my president, Mr. My President. Bruh, if his secretary is resigning, come on, man. Now they saying that Mueller investigating Trump's apparent effort to out Sessions in July.
It's all Jeff Sessions' fault. We should be firing Jeff Sessions right now.
Why?
He wouldn't have recused himself. He
What did he do
recused
wrong?
himself in the Russia investigation.
He should have.
He should have never done that.
Campaign.
Had nothing
He
to
was
do
on
with
the
it.
campaign.
He should have never.
Supported. He endorsed Trump.
He should have
Was he
never.
not the first Republican that supported Trump? Was he not?
He shouldn't have recused himself. What does that have to do with anything? If he didn't do anything
It's a
wrong,
conflict of interest. Why do you accuse yourself, Wayne?
I don't know. But I know one thing for sure: he should fire Jeff Sessions for not
Wait a
standing
minute.
up for not standing up for the leader.
So how do you feel? I just called in, but how do you feel about Hope Hicks leaving?
I mean, that's her personal decision. I don't have a problem with it. Listen, I tell people all the time, I don't care about any of those guys. I elected Donald Trump. That's the only person in that White House that I'm who I'm connected or concerned about like that. I don't know Hope Hicks. I don't know the guy that was beating up on his girlfriend. I don't know these people. They're not my friends. And if they did something wrong,
what did you brag about in the beginning? That Trump only hires the best and the brightest,
and he can hire some more of the best and the brightest. There's nothing wrong with that.
How many people have resigned?
Listen, there is always turnover in the White House. Okay, this is nothing new.
Indicted. How many people are indicted from Trump?
This is nothing new.
Okay, how many people are indicted through Barack
There's only
Obama?
2 or 3. Wait a minute. All right, so the people that were indicted were people that were doing activities before they even met Donald Trump.
5 people.
Yeah, but this is their business. Donald Trump had nothing to do with that.
All people that ran were either on the campaign or in Trump's cabinet.
No, people
So
that
what
were
does that tell you?
hanger-ons, people that had small roles in the party or in small roles in his campaign, except for Paul Manafort. Now, Paul Manafort is guilty. It appears to me that he's guilty of tax evasion. It appears to me that he's made millions and millions of dollars over in the
Money
Ukraine.
laundering, everything going.
Well, that's up to him. Donald Trump has nothing to do with that. He can't control that.
He was part of it.
No, he wasn't. Paul Manafort was doing this for 10 to 20 years before that. He was known in D.C. as a
Why
bad.
didn't the bank? No bank would loan Trump any money. So where did he get his money from?
Again, I don't know anything about all that. That's something totally
Oh,
different.
you just got.
What does that have to do with him being president? I don't understand that.
You know, follow the money. They all going down, and you need to save yourself, Wayne. I'm like, look, Spartan, save yourself. Don't go down with this. Don't go down with this shit, man.
Well, I tell you what, man. I'm gonna call. I'm gonna text you or inbox you after we get off the air, and we will discuss that part a little more. But yes, I understand.
Okay, you
what
want to go back to the 13th district? You hear this, ladies and gentlemen? He's running because he knows it's about to go down. All right, have fun. I'll call back.
Hey, man, listen here, man. Next time you do something with Irene the Dream, I want in.
Okay.
I want in.
Actually, 2 days.
Man, I need in on this, man. I want to do the spray. Psh, psh.
Wax on, wax off.
That's it, bro.
I got you.
Thank you, brother, for calling in.
All right.
Yep.
Go green.
Go white. Yes, indeed. Now, you know that, and that's one thing. As much as they've hated on our Michigan State basketball team, it's good to see that we're not letting any of those distractions get in the way. My boy.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, brother, for calling in, man. Peace out. All right. Fellow Spartan, man, once a time. Listen, man, like I tell people before, Donald Trump every White House has problems, has people fight, has people quit. And I think that this is no different. And you're just going to have to deal with it. No White House doesn't have any turbulence and things of that nature. And I just think that we will see what happens. But Donald Trump has, at this point, it was interesting to watch him talk to his own party about gun rights. And that wasn't the way that Republicans have operated on gun rights for a very long time. So I think that there is some political wins that President Trump is going to have to work out because calling people scared in public settings is not going to do it. It's really not. So give us a call, 313-778-7600. Anthony, thanks for calling in, man. Go green, go white. Man, listen to that. My volume is low. Turn it up. He said my volume is low. I don't know what he means by that. Okay. We're going to turn it up here a little bit. I haven't heard anybody calling in yet on the 13th. I'd love to hear from some folks on that. When we come back after the break, we're going to come back and I got an interview with Bill Schuette that I want to play. He's running for governor here in the state of Michigan, and I think that my listeners need to hear some of what he's been talking about and some of the things he wants to do here in the state of Michigan. So when we come back, we're going to play that interview as we're talking local politics because, again, all politics are local, and these are some of the issues that are important right now that we need to talk about. Give us a call, 313-778-7600. I had a good talk the other day with the police chief of Detroit who made an interesting statement, that one that I agree with, and that is an untold secret anyway, that he said and I use the word some teachers need to be armed. And he caught a lot of wreck from other state reps and Democrats that attacked him. But let me give you a couple secrets here. One, there have been DPS teachers that have always had guns in their briefcase. Okay? And now you have some that are being trained in the schools. So we're going to bring back my man Anthony. I guess he's not done with me, man. Anthony, welcome back to the show, brother.
Okay, I want to talk about the meeting Trump had. Seriously, like
you enjoyed that, didn't you?
I'm calling to give him props.
Yeah, I know you enjoyed that.
All the Republicans, you guys are scared of the NRA, and you see their faces. They look like they just crapped themselves because he was telling the truth.
Well, he always tells the truth. I can't get mad at him. Okay. He always gives the blunt, honest truth. You know, it's not necessarily sugar-coated, and I'm not surprised that he used that phrase last week, in a speech.
No, he said it to their
But he said it to their faces
today.
It
over and over again that you guys are petrified by the NRA. And he said, I'm not scared because I don't need their money. And in so many words. Think about that.
Well, that's why people elected Trump in the first place, is because he wasn't going to be bought out by any one entity. Now, people can say he's for rich people. Most presidents are, okay? I don't care which Democrat, Republican. Most of them do things to help out rich people, one way or another. But I think that the difference with him is because he was not involved in politics and he did not have these relationships, and he didn't have a group like the NRA that supported him all the way from a state rep to being a congressman to running for president. He doesn't have loyalty to any of these people. And I think that's something that, Republicans have to understand.
I mean, that I would agree. He only had loyalty to himself. That's the most important thing you need to know about Trump. Loyalty is to himself. And he'll just have your back.
Well, I think he has loyalty to what he believes in, too. The principle, whatever it is. Now, again, that could change. But like with this incident with Parkland, I think that him sitting with those young kids and listening to them, I think it has changed his mind in some way about how we deal with guns in America. And
you know what's so funny?
And I don't have I don't have a problem with that because he's dealing with a very emotional situation and he had to deal with it firsthand.
And this is the first time I ever seen Trump actually like seem like he cared a little bit because
Well, how could you not? How could you not if you sat there with those kids? I mean, I think it would be impossible.
But you got to understand, like, these politicians are so, like, they just worried about their cash flow with the NRA and groups like that. So I'm just kind of, like, looking at, like, when he told the Republicans, like, I like this Democratic idea. So when they told him, like, these background checks and how to enhance the background check, he's like, I like that. Put it in your bill. And you see their faces, man. They were like, whoa, what are you doing?
Well, he did, but the thing, he did that with DACA, too. He did that with the immigration bill. And then when he got back into a closed room, Stephen Miller and some other folks got to him and said, hey, now, you know you can't do that. And so I don't know how he's going to do this with guns. This is going to be way more trickier than it will be for immigration.
This one, I think I kind of believe him. I believe that he's really like, I don't care about the NRA, and I'm going to do whatever I feel is right on this. Now, the immigration thing, only reason why I say he does, I mean, he's not that particular fond of people of color, so that doesn't surprise me, change his mind on that. But as far as, like, the gun thing, I think he can really, like, respect that. Like you said, when you had those kids, in front, like you said, when they had the kids in front of your face.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't know any human being that could act like that does not, affect them. I just don't see how. I mean, even
why hasn't anybody in Congress? I mean, this is Democrats too. You know, they punked out after Sandy Hook. They punked out, because they're scared of the NRA, just like the Republicans are. Because like people will vote against their own interests to keep their guns. That's just the bottom line. Like they will, and they have. So they didn't want to lose the election or anything like that. That's why the Democrats like, well, I guess I'll just shut up about this. You know what I'm saying? So they some punks. The Republicans are some punks to the NRA, but I don't think Donald Trump is a punk to the NRA. So I called to give a compliment to Donald Trump.
Man, I need to play the lottery, man. I'm definitely. I need to at least play the lottery, man, because lightning only strikes once, man. And this is an important day. We got to give him some claps for that, man. Give him a round of applause, Juwan, for at least. I mean, this never happens. You got to give him.
And
it up.
Probably never will.
You got to give it up to him on that. I salute you. I salute you for giving Donald Trump some props.
That's enough.
Ooh, you suck.
See, my board operator, man, he can't even take a compliment for Donald Trump. And that's why he's going to win again in 2020. I think that.
Okay, now why are you running for 2020 already? You just only 13 months in it.
Well,
you haven't did anything.
You have to let the people know. You have to let the supporters,
he won't even make
donors.
It past 2018. Well, who's going to be on his staff?
Oh, he'll be fine. There'll be plenty of people that want to sign.
Are you serious?
There'll be plenty of people that want to sign up to work in the White House.
Has been on his squad since forever, from the apprentice on up. So you mean to tell me this woman is so scared and shook that she's going to leave right now because she knows it's about to go down?
No, what I'm reading on the news right now, and this is coming from fake news from CNN, it says longtime Trump confidant Hope Hicks resigned, but they said that is nothing nefarious about her resignation. Nothing's bad here.
He said he would tell white lies. She told
white lies. And
what are white lies, Wayne?
You know the white lies. Come on,
what
player.
What are white lies? And why do they call it white lies?
Because it's light. It's nothing heavy. Just a little, hey, baby.
What are black lies? Is there anything called black lies?
Well, I bet you if they are, they're really bad, aren't they?
Right. Wonder why they call it white lies.
Because it's light. It's just little. It's something like saying, hey, I'm going to the store.
So if you think somebody would lie about the small thing, you don't think they'll lie about the big things?
I don't know. I don't lie, so I don't know anything about these things. I'm not in.
Boo that man. Boo that man. I need a boo. You suck on that one. Well, like, for real.
No, seriously, I think that anybody obviously is capable of lying, okay? I mean, that's just, their human nature. But I think when we start talking about here, did she lie about something that really didn't mean anything. I mean, those are the kind of white lies. It's like when you tell.
But why would you lie to like the Congress?
In particular to the media or something.
FBI?
She didn't lie to the Congress. She did. I think that's the whole point here. She did not lie to Congress.
Who did she lie to?
She didn't say in the testimony. She was saying maybe to the
how
media.
Do you know she didn't lie to Congress, then?
She's a communications director. She's probably, we're talking about talking to the media. And that's what they asked her. Has she ever made any white lies on behalf of the White House? Well, she's a communications director. If Trump's having a bad day and you have to come out and say that he's having a good day, is that, really bad, or is that just doing your job?
Has ever been on TV saying anything to the press?
Who, Hope Hicks? Well, she works with the young lady. Oh man, I'm having a long day here. Sanders out of the the press room. So she does the communications. That doesn't mean you're the press secretary. So she's a communications director, and she was a long time.
She's the one that helped you all the lies that come out of Sanders' mouth, right?
What lies? What lies has Sanders came? What lies have come out of Sanders' mouth?
She never lied.
I'm not aware of that. Now maybe she can expound on that, but I'm not aware of any lies. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe when.
By the way, I'm looking for a $31,000 desk that Ben Carson got. You got one of those?
I wouldn't mind having one. I don't have one. No.
You cutting people's food out. You taking people like hurting poor people like that, but you want a $31,000 desk?
Hey,
and this man's supposed to be he's from my hood, Southwest Detroit. What's the Southwestern? My high school.
Right.
Are you serious?
You should be proud of that brother that he's in a position where he can get a $31,000 desk.
You know what? I was proud of it. He came to a high school and everything back in the day. Then all of a sudden we started doing this Republican
the Republican thing. There you go. That's all it takes, son, to be a Republican, racist, everything the man has done.
He forgot where he came from.
Man, when Donald Trump came to Detroit, he was in your hood. How many did Obama come to your hood? Trump did.
So what does that mean?
I'm just saying.
And what hood did Donald Trump come to?
He was on Edsel. He was in the South. He was in Southwest.
Wow, that's the hood. You call that the hood? Okay, that's not the hood.
Southwest vote? Did he win the Southwest vote? No, he came for a show.
He was down there in them number streets.
There's my African American. Look at him. That's what he basically did.
Oh, you just like I said, Trump can do nothing.
Right. With you when you take a picture with him, man. I need you to start taking pictures with black people sometimes too, man.
I swear, I take pictures with everyone.
You every profile is you and some white Republican.
Get out of here, man.
Damn about you.
Get out of here, man. I take pictures with everyone, man. I even take pictures with some of my black Democrat friends. It's all
I really want to come to one of you guys' meetings. Because you guys.
Man, you should have came to the Black History Month dinner last week, man. 200 people, full of folks supporting the Republican message, right in the heart of Detroit at the St. Regis Hotel, brother.
How many black people was there?
Out of 175 people, probably about 120, 130 people.
120 Republicans.
I don't always call people by their labels. They come in to support the party and support me, so I thank them. Thank you, Anthony, for calling in, my brother.
Hey, man.
Go Green.
All right.
Yes, sir. All right, you're listening to the Wayne Bradley Show on 9:10 a.m., your superstation, the future of radio. When we come back, I'm going to give you an interview with Bill Schuette, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the 13th District. Talk to you soon.
It's the Wayne Bradley Show. That's what it is. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. It's the Wayne Bradley Show.
910 AM Superstation is the only place to get the best in talk radio from sunup to sundown.
You have to get to the point that the most important voice that's in your head is your own. And if you can't stick on what the voice is inside your head, then you got to get the word down deep inside of you, so that's what you can turn to.
That's right. We wake you up with motivation at 5 a.m.
What I've learned, life has its punches, life has its ups and downs, but don't stop moving. You know why? Because can't hit a moving target.
And keep you entertained and enlightened all the way to 3 a.m. Don't believe me? Just listen.
We are fortunate to have parents like Yolanda who never, ever stand down in the fight for having her children have a decent education.
910 AM Superstation. We are the future of radio.
Nine 10 AM Superstation is launching a new initiative called the 910 AM Ambassadors Program,
where schools will be provided a platform to allow their inspiring broadcast and media students to weekly broadcast, highlighting their schools.
All we will need is a 60-second video taken from a smartphone, tablet, or video camera, highlighting a story at your school.
Whether it's featuring one of your athletic teams, a student organization helping in the community, a student being chosen for a scholarship, or a teacher's unique approach to relating to students.
Whatever weekly story will best show how your school is unique and set apart, that's what we want to promote.
Your weekly video will be featured on all our social media platforms, from Facebook to Instagram.
To receive more information or speak with our ambassador representative, email us at 910amradio@gmail.com.
And don't forget to watch and listen for your story soon on 910 AM Superstation, the future of radio.
910 AM Superstation is the voice of the people. Don't believe me? Just listen.
I absolutely love this radio station. This station gets me through the work week.
And we don't just show love to the callers. We see the comments and the posts too.
I'm always on the go, so being able to watch all my favorite hosts on 910 AM mobile app is amazing.
So when you think of 910 AM Superstation, we want you to tune in, call in, and don't forget to find us on social media. We're the hottest station in town. Whatever you need, it's right here on 910 AM Superstation. The most powerful voices in the urban community. 910 AM Superstation, the leader in opinions.
Malcolm and the Muslim movement back then never preached in selling drugs, raping, and crime. They always talk about defending yourself.
Yeah, but both of them talked about a clean spirit. Both of them talked about moving black folks. Both of them talked about moving black folks forward. And the question is, my brother,
the reason why the media and the school always push Martin, and when you go into most black folks' home, you see Martin and not Malcolm.
I agree with that, brother.
Malcolm way of thinking, it works. Anytime you want to integrate with somebody like Trump and Duggan, you misleading your people.
Hold on.
Jews don't think that way. Chinese, Arabs don't think that way. So again, let's get ourselves together. Then we'll
brother. And the power, the greatest power is economic power.
Yes, that's what it's all about.
I mean, that's what it all is.
910 AM Superstation. We are the future of radio. 910 AM Superstation is the voice of Detroit and the talk of the town. Weekdays, weeknights, weekends, and everything in between. If you want national topics, we have it.
Is this DACA challenge that the president has presented? He rolled back the...
Well, he hasn't done it yet. Anybody who says that they know what he's going to do before it happens is making a mistake.
Local discussions, we have that too.
You know, the Pistons, the Red Wings, those arenas, they were made for people primarily in the suburbs, I think, coming in.
Entertainment and relationships? Listen up. And if you thought we were restricted to only the radio, think again. You can hear all of this on 910 AM as well as on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, YouTube Live, YouTube Red, and Facebook Live. That's right. Download the 910 AM Superstation app in the Apple, Android, or Windows App Store today and stay connected to the best station in town. 910 AM Superstation gives you the flip side, the real side. This is our side.
Listen live now. The number one station, period.
And on that note, let's get back to the program.
You're listening to 910 AM Superstation, Detroit's only urban talk radio station.
It's the Wayne Bradley Show. Conservative lyrical radio. Giving you what you need to know. Listen up, it's the Wayne Bradley Show. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. Conservative lyrical radio. Giving you what you need to know. Listen up, it's the Wayne Bradley Show. That's what it is. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. That's what it is. Listen up. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. Oh, it's the Wayne Bradley Show. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. Yeah.
I believe that that is my Attorney General on the line. And so I'm just going to, before I bring him on, I just want you guys to know that Michigan is very lucky to have the Attorney General that we have, who's worked hard on behalf of the Michigan citizens, someone that does not mind coming into any area and talking the true definition of a public servant. My guest right now, Attorney General Bill Schuette. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, Wayne, great to be with you. And, hey, I am so sorry I was a no-show a week ago. I'm an up and at 'em early morning guy, and I was doing a workout at crack of dawn, or before the crack of dawn, and simply I goofed up and the time got away from me. So I'm delighted to be here today, and thank you for the opportunity to be on the Superstation, and this new gig of yours is pretty cool.
Thank you so much, sir. Oh, no problem. Like I said, you're always on duty. You're always working, so I understand that, and I'm just glad you could come on today. I wanted to first obviously talk about some of the work you've done here as Attorney General here in Michigan. A lot of my viewers here in the Detroit area, obviously, always question, what are Republicans doing for the city of Detroit? And I the two things that really stuck out for me, and we can talk about briefly, is how you helped with Wayne County, with Kim Worthy with the rape kits, and also fighting for the pensioners here in Detroit. Can you talk about, because I know human trafficking is one of your biggest issues. Can we talk a little bit about how you helped with the Wayne County and the prosecutor's office?
Well, you bet, Wayne, and I appreciate the opportunity to talk about my record of accomplishment as Attorney General. And my first responsibility, after making sure I'm a good husband and father, is my job as Attorney General, and certainly the delivering the funding, working with the legislature, my partners in the legislature, Democrats and Republicans,
right,
delivering the funding to investigate and prosecute these abandoned rape kits that were sitting on a shelf in Detroit, working with Kim Worthy to make sure that we worked with prosecutors in Metro Detroit and across the state to deliver justice for women who've been brutalized by horrific crime was a key responsibility for me. And what I do is work with prosecutors across the state and the legislature, as I say, delivering the funding to deliver justice for women who've been, experienced just a brutal assault.
Because I mean, some of these rape kits went back 20 plus years that are just sitting in a warehouse, essentially, right?
Well, and that's right. And what that meant then, Wayne, is that women were, brutalized twice. Once by a horrific assault, and then second that nothing was done, no prosecution, no nothing. But that's changed. There's a new culture, a new approach, and I appreciate working with Kim Worthy, the Wayne County prosecutor, and people like David Layton and Genesee County to help deliver justice for victims of rape. Secondly, I also work very hard on this issue of human trafficking, where young women, primarily young women, are bought and sold in the sex slave market, and as a father, a husband, a lawyer, attorney general, doesn't matter what word you put before the name Bill Schuette. The fact is, when it could be anybody's daughter, when you get caught in this dark world of human trafficking, and now in Michigan, again working with the legislature on a bipartisan basis, when young women are accused of having sex, forced to have sex, they are treated as victims, not criminals, and that's a sea change in the state of Michigan. So I'm very proud of those two accomplishments as Attorney General.
Thank you. And I guess the other thing that a lot of people don't understand is how you stuck up for the pensioners here in Detroit. And I think it's important that folks here in the city understand that when we were in the emergency manager situation, it was you who actually, it wasn't, this crossed into the political world of, hey, these are Republicans doing this. You still stood up and fought for the pensioners in the city of Detroit. And I think that's admirable.
Well, thank you. There's a clause in the Michigan Constitution. If you don't like the Constitution, change it, right?
Right,
but
exactly.
The language in the Michigan Constitution said that pensions shall not be diminished. And I adhered to that language in the Constitution because I took an oath. I've taken an oath twice as Attorney General, and to serve a 4-year term. And the fact is that I took an oath to defend the Constitution and enforce the law. and it doesn't matter anything else but that. Just defending the law and enforcing the Constitution. So I stood by the pensions during the Detroit bankruptcy. You bet I'd do it again.
Excellent. Now, there are, as we're, dealing with some of the situations that, like yesterday in New York, how important is it that Michigan, being a border state, how important is it that we have, like what the president talks about, stronger vetting and stronger border security? How important is that for the state of Michigan? And as Attorney General and obviously moving forward as governor, how important would that be for our state?
Well, it's important for every citizen in the state of Michigan and every citizen across the country to have security, and we always have to make sure that we secure our border. In the events last week in New York, I happened to be in that very exact same vicinity, my wife and I, with our daughter 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
So I know exactly where that occurred, and what was really a significant couple of weeks ago when I visited New York City on the weekend was going to where the Twin Towers once stood, and those reflecting pools there that where you see the water cascading in the name of each and every victim of that brutal terrorist attack on our country, which is the Pearl Harbor of our generation. If you were a World War II veteran and you fought for freedom, and the Pearl Harbor put a mark on people in the sense of making sure that our country never experiences that again. Those who, all of us in our generation, who experienced the 9/11 attack, every American ought to see those reflecting pools that honor those victims. And so we need to make sure that we're vigilant, and we're fighting a war out there against people who want to take our country down, our way of life and our values and our freedoms. And that's why the responsibility of first responders, how they deliver, and our law enforcement folks, I can't be more proud to stand with them. And those who attack our citizenry and those who disparage our cops and law enforcement, that's just wrong.
Now, kind of switching up to what's moving forward, looking at the future here. You recently announced that you're running for governor. And within, I think, a couple of days of that, you had an endorsement from President Trump himself. How does it feel, as your campaign is taking off and is, taking off so smoothly? I mean, I saw you of course, up in Mackinac, and a lot of people were excited for your announcement. How's the process gone so far, and how are you feeling about this campaign moving forward?
Well, Wayne, thank you. On the political front, from my standpoint, the campaign's going very well. My wife and I we meet every endeavor together, along with our two children, Heidi and son Bill, and so we're climbing a mountain, so to speak. And it's steep, and you have to earn it every single day. And I'm very pleased by the support that's come across the state. We have people in a team, an army of over 115 captains situated in all 83 counties of the state of Michigan. So we have a strong army of supporters, so to speak, and the grassroots significance can never be emphasized sufficiently. So I'm pleased by the grassroots support, getting President Trump's endorsement. I appreciate that and value it very much, along with Governor Engler, who's he's a legend, and I'm more in that Engler model of relationships and understanding how the legislature works. And Congressman Candace Miller, who's a powerhouse in southeastern Michigan, Congressman Trott, who's an Oakland County member of Congress, John Moreland are up in the Midland area. Plus, Mike Bouchard, the sheriff, and Oakland County Executive Brooks Patterson. So things are going well. You got to earn it every day. Take a step up the mountain every day, Wayne. And some days I'll throw touchdowns. I may throw an interception now and then, but every day I'm going to get up and work hard. Now,
that's the one thing I got to say is that you right now, in terms of campaigns and on the Republican side, you're heads and above any of the other candidates. How do you find you have to still, like you said, I notice you keep saying working hard every day. Does that mean you're not taking this lead or this anticipated lead right now for granted, and you're continuing to touch all the bases?
Oh yeah, listen, we have 12 months to go, and those are a long 12 months, and And I tell my team every day, we got to win every day, and you have to earn it every day, and you take nothing for granted. And nothing's ever given to you of any value. And the whole process of running for governor, you learn a lot about other people. You learn a lot about yourself, strengths and weaknesses. And I have good days and bad days, but I try to get my Joel Osteen on and make sure I'm always positive.
That sounds
look at it the right way.
As running for governor, what are the most important things you want people to know that are your priorities as you're running for governor here, and the things you want to do moving forward? What will the Schuette governor Schuette look like in terms of policy and ideas?
Well, again, I take nothing for granted and never in presuming anything, and you have to earn it every day. But the two priorities, I hope I have the privilege to serve as governor of Michigan, and I'm going to work to earn that privilege. But I would do two things. Number one, we need to eliminate the legacy of the lost decade of Jennifer Granholm, where we lost people and jobs. 1 million people migrated from our state. And yes, we've rebounded, but we still are short 300,000 jobs of where we were before the Great Recession, and 55 counties in Michigan have lost population in this last decade itself. And so, we need to. Our biggest challenge is we need to be a state that attracts talent, keeps talent, and we have to grow at a pace equal to what other states are growing. So I want to eliminate the Granholm income tax. It was supposed to have been rolled back, but I want to put a knife through that, a dagger through it, and eliminate that Granholm tax increase and give people in Michigan a pay raise. And secondly, I want to have real auto insurance reform. And to me, that's, when families are sitting around the kitchen table and, seeing how far is their paycheck going and what are the costs of their auto insurance. We need to have real auto insurance reform for citizens across the state. And those are two key priorities for me, Wayne.
Excellent. If people want to know more about your campaign, where can they go to find more information about it, sir?
Wayne, thanks. Go to BillSchuette.com or just ask Wayne Bradley.
Okay, all right. Well, I appreciate it so much. I'll definitely let folks know exactly what you're doing here, and I'm looking forward to actually bringing you down to the city so we can actually, have these discussions with folks. You've come to my office multiple times, so I'm always grateful to that you've come down and talked to the folks in Detroit, and hopefully over the next couple months you will be down here and we can have a bigger discussion and give the folks your vision as running for governor of the state of Michigan.
Well, we'll do that plenty of times. I'm in Detroit lots, southeastern Michigan lots, and so I look forward to being with you and seeing your station in person, seeing the new gig.
Excellent.
And thank you for this opportunity, Wayne. Have a great day.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, sir. You have a great day as well.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, well, that was your Attorney General, Bill Schuette, who's always on duty. Obviously one of the hardest working attorney generals in the country, and I would expect that if he is elected governor, he'll be one of the hardest working governors in the country. So
he has done.
All right, well, that was an interview I had with Bill Schuette. And, again, after today, Gretchen Whitmer was endorsed by Mayor Duggan. There's been talk that Benny Napoleon might be her running mate. Do you think that it can't hurt Gretchen Whitmer, but do you think that's going to be enough for them to win the election? I mean, heck, she's only 7 points up now on Shuri, whatever the guy's name is. I'm going to keep saying it. The guy that spent all the money, she's only up by 6 or 7 points on him. And Muhammad, the Dr. Saul Muhammad, I believe it is, or Saeed, Dr. Saeed, he is slowly but surely losing steam. He's raised a nice amount of money, but in this race, it was going to be tough. I always wonder why he didn't just run for state rep or something first to start off. But, hey, folks, you can't tell people what to run for, and you can't fix people's political ambition. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a very interesting 2018, and I'm looking forward to having all the candidates come on at some point or another and talk about their platforms. Republicans, Democrats, you name it. They're all welcomed on here. All right, so we're going to take a quick call from Olaf, who's on the line. Olaf, thanks for calling in.
What's up, Wayne? Thanks for taking my call, brother.
No
As
problem.
usual, the only Republican I ever had love for.
I appreciate it every time.
Brother. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bro, is that really what we got to look forward to, man?
An honest Democrat here. I was waiting for
tired, man. He needs to go take a nap, bro. He needs to go take a nap. This guy, man, we don't need him for governor. I know that's your ass. He's a Republican, yada, yada, yada. He didn't do nothing. Man, he did nothing.
Whoa. Bill Schuette?
Those people down there in Flint, Wayne.
He's still doing stuff right now. He's fighting all the people that were – there's all kind of cases pending and people pleading guilty. He has done everything he could do, I guess, except what people want him to do is what? Arrest the governor? But other than that –
what did he do to the governor? We want Snyder locked up, bro.
He's not getting locked up, man. Come on. You know. We know that's not going to happen.
Okay, but it's Snyder the cause of this, though. Would you admit that?
Some of his decision-making led to this decision, but the people in Flint, the guy that was the EM that was there is the person that made that decision. Now, you can say the governor allowed for an EM to be there, but no, the governor's not the person that should be going to jail for this. I mean, come on now. I mean, I understand that it's a very dicey situation, but at the end of the day, let's start with the first thing. The city council of Flint voted to switch to water. That's where the problem started. And then the EPA, President Obama's EPA, went in and said they weren't having any issues and said the water was fine. And that's why he fired the EPA.
Sir, Flint's water was connected to Detroit's water line, sir.
Right.
The governor decided, the governor's people decided to have that water swapped out, and connected to that nasty.
Wait a minute. You need to look at the vote. The city council of Flint voted 6-1 to switch their water source. It was not the governor who made them do this. They decided they wanted their own water source because they thought they could get a cheaper rate than what they pay in Detroit, which probably is true because everyone outside Detroit pays an arm and a leg for their water. They're the ones that actually keep the water department open. It's the suburban city, everywhere else surrounding. And so they made a decision based off finances, and they decided to go to the KLA. Now, the second part of it was that they decided to disconnect and go to that Flint water source. That was a problem.
Somebody stopped them. Well, who was in charge of somebody stopping them and telling them, look, that's a bad idea?
That was the people from Detroit. That was the people from our water department. But when you're losing a customer, those are the kind of things you would say. I mean, and so, again, I'm not making – all I'm saying is there's a lot of blame to go around here. If you want to blame it on Snyder that he put an EM in place, so be it. But Governor Blanchard is the person that created the EM law in the first place to go at Flint.
I knew you was gonna go back there.
Because am I lying? Am I lying, Olaf? But wait a minute.
No, you're not lying.
He created it.
You're not lying.
The irony is he created it.
20 years ago, bro.
A Democrat, Jim Blanchard, created the EM law
Look at you.
against Flint in the 1980s. I mean, this is crazy. Like it just how things can turn around. But no, and that's the bottom line is that the person that created these big government rules was a Democrat, Jim Blanchard, and all Snyder did was add some teeth to what he already did.
And Snyder kept up with the EM rules in Pontiac.
So did Jennifer Granholm. So did Jennifer Granholm.
In Saginaw.
Did Jennifer Granholm not follow along with these EM laws too? So should we expect Whitmer to do the exact same thing? It's a dirty game, Olaf. I tell you what, hold on. We're going to come back because I'm enjoying talking to you, my friend. We'll be right back on the Wayne Bradley Show on 9:10 a.m. your superstation. This future of radio.
Bradley Show, conservative political radio, giving you what you need to know. Listen up, it's the Wayne Bradley Show. That's what it is.
What I now know is that we all become exactly what you believe. So if you believe that you can do all things because you have been endowed by a power from on high, given to you by the grace of God, if you believe that, you walk into the world understanding that whatever problems you may encounter, you still have God to lean on. As I grew, my perception and understanding of what God means grew with me. I expanded my view of what it means to be a citizen of the universe, to be a part of the energy field that is omnipotent, omniscient, all-knowing, and all-present in all things. And so My confidence comes from knowing that there is something greater than myself that I am a part of and is also a part of me.
910 AM Superstation. We are the future of radio. Every weeknight at 9 p.m. is something new and something fresh.
This is Todd Corser, and I want you to check out my show. Listen in and call every week as we explore government and hot topics. Tune in, raw and uncut.
This is attorney Michael Schwartz at 9:10 a.m. Superstation, and you can hear me every Tuesday night starting at 9 p.m.
Hello, Detroit. This is attorney Crystal Crittenden, and please tune in to my new show, The Truth Matters, on 9:10 a.m. Superstation.
Hello, everyone. I'm Charlene Mitchell, your host of Mind Your Business. Listen to my show live every Thursday from 9 to 11 p.m.
I'm Reverend Maya Lisa Reynolds, inviting you to listen to Mama Maya Speaks Friday evenings from 9 until 11 p.m., discussing education, motivation, and inspiration on Superstation 910 a.m.
Different names, different voices, but the same energy. 910 AM Superstation, the voice of Detroit.
It's the Wayne Bradley Show. Conservative Analytical Radio. Giving you what you need to know. Listen up. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. Conservative Analytical Radio. Giving you what you need to know. Listen up. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. That's what it is. It's the Wayne Bradley Show. That's what it is. Listen up. It's the Wayne Bradley Show.
Welcome back to the Wayne Bradley Show on 9:10 a.m. Your Superstation, the future of radio. That's right, Juwan. Sometimes you just got to grab them by the ears. Grab them by the ears and let them listen to the song. Let them listen to what's going on here. And I don't mind grabbing all my listeners by the ears and having them listening to the Wayne Bradley Show. All right, let's go back to my man, Olaf. Welcome back, my brother.
Yeah, Wayne, thanks for holding me over. And now, that put a little fire under some of your Republicans. Let me put some fire on my party real quick.
Go ahead.
Some of my Democrats. Because I'm going to tell you something, that Jennifer Granholm, I know I'm going back to past, but that last-in chick from Canada, she wasn't even from here, man. And we voted for this chick.
Jenny from the block.
Man, thank you. She cost us one of the worst financial crisis in terms of that Michigan State responsibilities fee. Man, a lot of us are still hurting.
And wait a minute, Olaf, have you read the paper? Who just got rid of those driver responsibility fees? The Republican Party. Right. Tom Leonard and Governor Snyder just wrote up the bills to phase out all driver responsibility fees. We always clean up the mess, Olaf.
Well, okay, I will admit that. And let me say something else real quick. This Gretchen Whitmer, who hasn't even been to Detroit, has she made it? Was today her first day in Detroit?
Well, I don't know. I know she got Duggan support, so that's the big news, I guess, is that Duggan is because for a long time there he was not trying to endorse her. Matter of fact,
yeah,
he was doing everything he could to find someone else, and so now they're talking about adding Benny Napoleon to the ticket, which again I think Benny's an honorable man, a great police chief and a great sheriff of Wayne County.
I like it.
So I mean that does help, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to push her over the top to beat someone like right now who's the front runner, Bill Schuette, is in the race. I don't know if that would be enough.
Because to me, she's nothing but a Jennifer Granholm retread.
I've said that multiple times now. She is nothing more than a return to the lost decade of Jennifer Granholm. It's that simple.
And if you ask me, I would kick her off to the side, and I would put Benny Napoleon for governor.
He would be a more formidable opponent right now than Gretchen Whitmer, and it just shows you that the Democrat Party, they would rather prop her up than just say, like you said, hey, why not just have Benny run? If we want Benny on the ticket, he should be at the top of the ticket, and let Gretchen Whitmer be the LG, and she can raise all the money. And then maybe you guys would have a fair shot against a titan like Bill Schuette.
But see, what it is, though, this is the overlay for the underplay. They want to put Benny up in there to collect the black votes.
Oh, well, that's all it is. It's nothing more than that.
That's all.
It's not. I mean,
we all know that.
To me, it's somewhat insulting because they're saying basically all we got to do is throw a black person on there, and it doesn't matter. And as long as we got one black person on there, I'm surprised they didn't ask. Who else could they have asked? I guess they said, "Nah, I'm okay with that." But that's what they do. They ask a couple black folks.
Yeah.
And he hasn't confirmed it yet, but he's being considered, and I think that that's just it's funny, It's a funny thing that they do. But hey, Olaf, man, I appreciate you calling in and keeping it honest with me. I know sometimes you like
just
said.
Wayne, just another way of the Democrats, my party, trying to get more black votes. Having a black guy on the ticket. That's all it is.
Now tell me this.
Yeah.
I wonder this. This is going to be a tricky one for him, Olaf. When Nancy Pelosi comes in supporting Gretchen Whitmer, the same person that got rid of John Conyers, how's that going to work out when she comes here?
Dang, it's a tricky game. It's a tricky game though, bro. But man, when you get a chance though, bro, call your man Michael Steele, man, check on him, man, because I don't like how your Republican Party is picking on that brother, man. Bro.
I don't either, and I'm glad that he stood up for himself, and there's a lot of other folks that stood up for him.
Too.
But like I said, I was talking about that the other day, man. These CPAC conferences, where you have these young, different folks that come in there, it's changed a lot over the years. It used to be a real conservative type of event, but now it's more libertarian, and there's a lot of college kids that come there, and they don't understand the history of our party. And they don't either that or they don't care. And for someone to make a statement like that about Michael Steele was utterly ridiculous.
They're just brutal to black Republicans, bro. I hope you don't have to go through that, bro. But there's a lot of racism in the Republican Party. We all know that, and I hope you guys take care of yourself. You black Republicans, y'all need to band together and stick together, man, to fight the racism in the Republican Party, brother.
Amen to that, man. I have no problem with that. We do need to stick together on that. That's for sure. Hey, man, thank you so much for calling in today, brother. I appreciate it.
Have a good one, brother. Have a good night, one.
Peace. All right, let's go to Big Al, who's been waiting. Big Al, welcome to the show.
Come on, man. Hey, man, I listen to you sometimes, Wayne. I don't know how you do it, man. Now, and I know even though the city council vote on it, they didn't have any power to even change the water, man. So at the end of the day, that was just a vote, just to throw a vote out there. You know when it came down. When it came down to the Kelly, I can't think of the name of that pipe thing. It was like 4 or 5 years out of the way before they could even get the water. It came down to finances.
I said that. I said that the end result was they made a change.
But think about how he balanced the budget of the state, man. He balanced it by taking over everybody's municipality and taking all of the pension funds over. He's talking about a rainy day fund. But basically, he took over all the. Remember when he came over? Not England, but when Snyder took over, the state of Michigan was in a financial situation,
a very bad one. And let's not misunderstand this.
He used emergency manager to take over all the pension funds and leave all the other cities in desperate need. And basically told the pensioners just.
No, that's part of the story, Al. A bigger part of the story was making this state more appealing for businesses to want to come to in the first place.
But he basically listen. If you're a Detroit person and you was paying your pension, they basically told you we taking your money and you ain't getting none of it back.
And that didn't happen because guess who stood up for those pensioners, Big Al? Take a wild guess.
Man, what are you talking about? I know people who work for the D-Dot.
They all went through a bankruptcy, man. They still have a pension. In a lot of places, are you to argue that?
Wayne,
Would they not have?
What Kool-Aid you drinking over there, Wayne?
I'm not drinking any Kool-Aid, man.
I'm gonna tell you
It wasn't a pretty story either way it went. If it would have been someone else.
The sad part about it is the emergency manager rule. People voted against it. He still went behind people's door and still put it in place.
No, he enacted a law that was already on the books. That's what he did.
Yeah, but the people voted it out, and he still went behind.
The people that voted it out are the same. A lot of the places that voted it out are the same people that needed the emergency managers in the first place.
Man,
if we want to be mad at emergency managers, we need to be mad at our local politicians.
And Crystal Critty about to come on in a minute. Mm-hmm. The problem that Detroit had, they didn't know how to collect the funds. It wasn't that there was their financial ruin. They didn't know how to collect the money.
Who's
Man,
so?
listen,
That sounds like a lot of bad mismanagement of our elected officials.
Yeah, but they really.
So who do you blame that on?
Problem with collecting funds.
Well, they don't have a problem collecting them now because you have a leader that's in there that prioritizes his finances.
Man, Wayne, just like the Flint water crisis, they hurt people. I don't know how people can look themselves in the mirror.
Well,
man.
listen, bad management of city council and the people that had those budgets in the first place hurt people. What you're asking is the rest of the.
Think about what your man did. He withheld the funds, man. The collective bargaining, he withheld it. Snyder did that. Now, I'm going to tell you something, man. I don't subscribe to none of these parties, but at the end of the day, you got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, did you treat people right, regardless of what party line? You know, you got people saying the left and the right. Man, at the end of the day, it's people. It's people, Wayne.
I understand that. Now, I definitely understand what you're saying,
And
Al.
I know
It's never an easy solution to those kind of tough problems. I mean, we have to be honest.
You know what,
about
man? I mean, that's how you treat people. That's how you treat people. Hey, I can't do people like that. That's why I don't subscribe to these parties, man. I subscribe to people.
that. I understand.
That's why you need a third party big time, man. I'm going to tell you something, Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
You say you're a Republican. You say Jack Kemp, man. You need to take a look at Jack Kemp on how he think about people of color, man. On some of these policies while he was in governor.
I know very well what he thought of. And this again, we need more Jack Kemp thinkers in our party. There's no question about that. That's why I stand strong on that.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. You ride that tow line, man. Listen, I'm neither a Democrat nor Republican, man. But I'm gonna tell you something. At the end of the day, it's people. That's what it comes down to. You know, you hear how people say, it's about the people. If you truly cared about people, you'll make sure people had an opportunity to succeed in life.
Right. Now, you're right. Listen,
I know you ain't going to agree on me with that one, but
I agree with you, man. I'm not disagreeing with you.
For being a Republican, man.
I'm not disagreeing.
I never knock you, but hold your party, man, accountable, man.
I agree. No, I will hold my party accountable for these kind of things. We need more Jack Kemp thinkers. We need more of the Rand Paul thinkers as well. Guys that are holding all of us accountable and paying attention to the bigger things.
Well, my question is this to you. My question to you is, Wayne, do you feel that people of color get over police?
Yes. Yes, they do. But you know why? You know why they get over police? You know why they get over police? Because they don't know the laws in the first place.
Because people believe stereotypes.
No.
People ride these stereotypes.
That's part of it, but the real issue is that a lot of, unfortunately, poor folks and people of color don't know all their rights, and we allow certain things to happen that wouldn't happen to other folks when you know, besides being poor or black, not knowing your rights. So, and I think that's a big part of it, is they abuse that. They know, just like people, they know black folks don't vote or only vote straight ticket without checking to see who they're voting for. So there's a lot of things that we can do to change some of these outcomes.
Man, but have you heard some of this stuff that some of these people say, man, about people of color, man?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Why would you vote for somebody who would talk bad about you, talk down about you?
Why would you vote for someone that doesn't say nothing about you and doesn't do anything about you, doesn't do anything for you? I guess that's the question. I look at things from.
I told you how I felt about most of these political parties, man.
Well, you're more honest about it than most, and I appreciate that, Big Al. Thank you, man, for calling in today.
All right, man.
All right, brother. Be blessed. All right, let's go to Rodney, who's on the line. Rodney, thanks for calling in.
Hey, Wayne, how you doing?
All right, how you doing?
That's right. Down there early, a black Democrat. Wasn't he in for Flint?
Pardon me?
Right. Down there early. He was black. He's a Democrat, black Democrat. He was the EM for Flint.
Okay, yep.
He withheld information on Snyder about that water.
He withheld information from Snyder?
Yeah, to Snyder about that water. He withheld information.
Well, then he's the one that needs to go to jail then, huh?
He probably will. But him and about 4 other guys up there in Flint.
Well, those are the guys that Bill Schuette's pressing charges against right now. When I hear people say he's not doing anything, I say, well, what else do you want him to do? Making a political statement trying to arrest the governor when he wasn't the one that's, culpable for that is just a waste. That's going too far. Go after the guys that have done something wrong, clearly have done something wrong, and prosecute them to the fullest ability. Yep. I don't have a problem with that. If he did that, if he lied to the governor, then he should face charges for that.
He withheld information. It's going to come out in the trial. Watch and see.
I wouldn't doubt it. Like I said, I appreciate that, Rodney, for that clarity, and I hope if he did lie to the governor, then he needs to pay the price for doing so.
Black Democrat, he didn't have to take that job. He didn't have to take it.
He didn't have to take the job, and he didn't have to lie.
He didn't have to lie. He didn't have to take that job.
Well, I mean, a lot of people might take a $250,000 job or whatever it was, the salary. It's the question of, if I'm making $250,000 in the job, am I going to lie to my superiors to keep my job easy? And I don't think I would, you know.
It's going to come out in the trial. Watch, we'll wait and see.
All right. Well, thank you, Rodney. I appreciate it. All right. I appreciate folks calling in, dropping in on that. You know, it's interesting. And when I hear people say, well, what else do you want for Bill Schuette to do? Going against the governor was not gonna deliver the results that he wanted. Plain and simple. You can't go after the governor when the governor is simply giving out instructions. And if people are lying to the governor on top of that, I don't understand what else he could do to alleviate that situation. So we're going to watch. We're going to see what happens here over the course of the time here, and see. I'm going to find this other clip I want to share with you because it's one of my favorite clips ever as we roll out of the show tonight. It was one of my callers, and he predicted it. He said Donald Trump was the black man in the race. I think that's still one of my funniest moments ever. I'm gonna share that with you guys in a moment here. Let's see if I can find it, and I'm gonna send that to my board operator and see if he can whip that up real quick. One of my best clips from the Wayne Bradley Show, an original caller, and I wonder if this guy ever calls in anymore, if he ever hears himself on this clip, because it was classic Wayne Bradley Show material, and I feel good. I want to share that with you tonight because it's been a good day, productive day. Let's see, we got a caller calling in here. Give us a call, 313-778-7600. If you want to chime in on this 2018 election. All right, so, hey, listen, Juwan, I just sent that over to you, too, when you get a chance. We'll go with Ashan. We'll go with Ashan right now. Ashan. All right, check your email, too, man. I just sent you this amazing clip. If
Hello.
you have time. Hello.
Hello, Wayne.
Hello, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm all right. How you doing, my friend?
Fine. Good. Good, again, good job.
Thank you, sir.
Please, make sure don't cut me off because I have a comment, a very important one.
All right.
Well, here's the truth about being a civil servant, a public servant, appointed public servant. It's not a job that you are guaranteed to be in it if you wanted to follow sometime the law and making sure that you are given the truth to the appointor. So, because the appointor, rely on you if they are ethical. If they want it to be ethical, if they want to be transparent, if they want to be a good public servant, then they expect from you as an appointee to be honest, truthful, tell the truth, even if it's hard. Because if you don't tell them the truth, assuming that they are a good public servant, like our Governor Snyder,
right?
Then it's you who you are the crook because you're trying to save your job and to help the people. So, now, if your superior or the appointor is a crook, then you lose your job because he doesn't want to listen to the truth. So you may have a conflict then and lose your job, either resign or get fired or have a conflict. Then you as an appointee, you did your job as a public servant, Wayne, and you told the truth and you told what's supposed to be done. And let the appointor or the elected officials, let them fall on the sword of the public opinion or the law. So there is no excuse whatsoever for any appointee to lie to save their butt, excuse my language, or to save the job.
Mm-hmm.
That's my take on this.
You're right.
Now,
you're definitely right about that. And there's, like I said, and there's a thing called integrity that we need our public servants and folks that are working with the public servants to make a difference. So, thank you again, Hassan, for calling in today.
You know, Wayne, if Governor Snyder knew about the situation and Flint, truthfully, at the beginning or when it's supposed to be done, I tell you what, he does have the integrity.
Right.
To stop it at the beginning.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. All right. So I appreciate that. Let's go to Starboy. Oh, I think this is my guy calling. Starboy.
My brother.
What's happening, brother?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to be talking to the great WB.
Man, I appreciate you. Appreciate you calling in, man. Thanks for calling in, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
So, what do you think is going on with all this? It's a lot going on in D.C. today, man. What chime in on? What do you think's happening?
This swamp, man. This swamp looks like the swamp was drained and got filled back, and it looks like swamp self-draining.
Oh man, I mean, you're having people. It seems that the president, day by day, gets more and more frustrated with Jeff Sessions. How long do you think? They talk about Kelly and all these different people, but it seems like his ire, and it should be, because if he never would have stepped down, Mueller might not be here. He's really frustrated with Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, Beauregard. Nobody can trust somebody named Beauregard. You know that.
He should have known better. What do you think about Hope Hicks today resigning? And is that a bad sign for the White House, or is this just another person that's resigned and is going to move on?
It's a good sign, bad sign. That's somebody said that's Trump's most for support. It could be a good sign for the White House. It might be scandal free. It's not Omarosa insinuation about Hope Hicks.
I forgot about that. Yeah, Omarosa's got a book coming out soon, I think, doesn't she?
Hope sloppy. Yeah. So we'll see what happens come out in that book.
Yep, that should be interesting.
Okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, I mean, I'm sitting here as I'm. What did you think when you heard him call the fellow Republicans a bunch of cowards today? Basically said you guys are all scared. He had mentioned that before in a speech, but this time he said it directly to these guys' faces.
Yeah, he said straight to the face. He said, "Come at me, bro." Essentially, he called them cowards. And, they cowards. Nobody stood back and said, "No, we ain't no cowards." We stand up for the Second Amendment, but
I think that's a very interesting space there for Trump. I really believe that sitting with those kids has affected him in a way that he's not thinking Constitution right now. He's thinking we just got to do something. And
I don't think he's ever thought Constitution. Now he's no Ron Paul.
No, he's not.
He's never thought Constitution. But I will say this one thing about the president is that I guess the kids do get to him. The Syrian kids, Syria's been gassing people for a long time. But when the kids got gas, he said, "Oh hell no!"
Right.
We got man. And before we saw the Tomahawks go. We saw the Moabs being dropped.
Mother of all bombs.
Yeah, man. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, we will see what happens.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how this all shakes out. I think that Hope Hicks put herself in a rough position by dating that last guy who couldn't get the clearance, who's brought a whole new level of scrutiny.
Listen. They said knees are for praying and praying only. You can only pray your way to the top on the knees.
This is true. Well, man, I appreciate you chiming in all the way from D.C., man, on this, because it's been an interesting day. I'd been on the road. I'd been up at our Capitol here in Lansing, And when I wasn't really paying attention to my phone, and I saw that our president had pretty much called out Republicans and then said that, hey, we need to confiscate guns first, go through the process second. I said, whoa, what has happened today? Where
well, I will say this, his sometimes, his Chuck Schumer-esque liberal New York, liberal New York roots do come out,
Yeah, I can't help but think that Chuck Schumer, Chuck and the boys have been talking about that.
In his defense, he's never taught Constitution.
No, you can't be mad at him.
Sam, Sam Newberg had to tell him, explain the fourth and fifth to him.
Yeah, we did not. Like you said, this is not Rand or Ron Paul.
Up black folk.
Oh man,
He almost said straight up, just go ahead, hit the darkie in the head.
Oh, come on, he didn't say that. He didn't go that far.
You almost did. He came close to it. He came darn close to it. Just like I do. He told the police officer, he told all the white cops behind him, say, look, when you get them, just go ahead, hit him in the head with the car.
You notice the thing? I didn't hear any cops speak up when he called those cops cowards the other day, and I think because most police probably agreed with him on that. But
I will say this: if that was a black or colored kid that had that gun, or he didn't have the gun, as Prosecutor Police Trayvon, they would have been on it. But they said, "Oh my goodness, he got a weapon. We got to, they cowards." I agree 110% with that.
Interesting. Well,
but it's not the first time we've seen coward cops. I call them CCD.
No. Well, it's interesting when it was something to be really scared of. They didn't want any parts of that. But let some of these young brothers out here with no gun, no threat whatsoever. They're the ones that are getting shot and gunned down. This guy, they brought him in just like Dylan Roof. They picked up burgers for Dylan Roof. So.
They get some back. But you take this minute.
Oh man, I miss. You're in and out right there. I couldn't get that last part in there. You went out. Hello.
In America.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I said that is the epitome of structural racism in America.
Yep. No, you're right about that. Hey, listen, man. I'm coming down to D.C. soon, man. I'm gonna inbox you and let you know, man. I'll be down there soon. We got to hang out, man. You look like you have more fun than anybody I know, man.
Well, look, I will say this. I've never been in Detroit, and if you do come to D.C., you find me. I will gladly buy you one of the greatest beers, with the great Wayne Bradley.
I appreciate it, brother. Thanks for calling in, and like I said, I'll be in D.C. soon, and I will let you know. Thanks.
Appreciate it, brother. Talk to you soon.
Peace. All right, man. Like I said, I got folks calling in all across the country today, man. I appreciate that. We got about 5 minutes left. I was going to give you this other interview, but I'll have to wait for another evening. Give us a call, 313-778-7600. We're riding out here in the last few minutes here of the Wayne Bradley Show. I've got to say that I don't know if the way that the president's approaching these gun laws and trying to ratify things in what I would consider in a very emotional, raw time in this country, I don't know if that's going to be the solution. He basically said also that he suggested adding the concealed carry measure, and I think that bill will pass someday, but it should pass as a separate bill. So now Trump's not even pushing for the concealed carry reciprocity across the country, meaning if you have a concealed weapon license in Michigan, I should be able to carry my concealed weapon wherever there are concealed weapon laws that allow for it. And I agree with that. I mean, I think if you go through and register for a gun, as long as we're in the United States of America, we need to have uniformed and recognizable concealed weapon laws that don't cause the headaches of when you're driving through a state like coming from Michigan and driving through Illinois. Well, the CCW can be costly. You could end up in jail. And so I think that we need to have a more robust in a way that if you have done all the right things in your state, that should transfer throughout the rest of the country. Kind of makes sense. You don't have to have a driver's license for every state you drive through. Why do you need a gun license to do the same? So while some people push for gun control, I think we need to push for stronger resources in mental health, coming up with a system that identifies potential danger like that, and maybe putting those people into a system to make sure they're not buying guns. But I don't think confiscating and going to people's homes, not unless, again, we implement a system that's going to be uniformed on this, and we clearly label what these problems are, because, you know, if you are having sleep deprivation, they can consider that a mental problem. Doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to protect your home. And so we just have to be very clear. It's a slippery slope once we start basing your individual rights off of a recommendation off of some doctor, and depending on what the scenario is, we don't want that to happen. And so while I understand that there is a need for people who want things done immediately, that's not the best way to do it here in America. I stand with Chief Craig by saying that there are some some teachers, whether they've had previous military backgrounds or whatever, if they're willing to take the training, then they should be able to protect themselves and students, because let's be honest, folks, there are a lot of schools that don't have the first-line defense, just like we had at Parkland with those teachers. And if maybe one of those teachers had been armed, we could have cut down on the amount of deaths there. Maybe it wouldn't have been as tragic. And that's something to think about. Like Chief Craig said, all options should be on the table. No one should be saying, oh, no guns for the teachers. Let's think about that. Let's make sure that that's not an option, and that wouldn't be something feasible to keep our kids safe. That's the only thing that matters here, folks, is keeping the kids safe. And I want to thank everyone that called in today. I want to thank Jesse and all the folks calling in about the 13th District. Keep your eyes on that 13th District, folks. I've made my prediction, and I think that there's going to be an interesting dichotomy of Detroit candidates that are going to have to, if they don't want Bill Wild to win, they're going to have to sit down with each other and say, all right, who's raising money? And if there's only 2 or 3 of us that are raising money, the other 7 sit down. Who's got name ID? And if there's only 1 of us or 2 people that have that, then 1 person needs to sit down. And then those 2 people need to decide, okay, are we both going to run, or are we going to support one or the other and make sure that we ensure that this seat stays with someone that's from the Detroit area? And I think that the problem is, how you doing? I think the problem is that the egos, there are a ton of these folks already elected officials. I mean, they already have positions that they could still keep. It's just that they're blinded by the seat, the power of the seat. And so we're going to stay vigilant on that. And keep an eye on that 13th District. But you watch my prediction on that, folks. All right? So I want to make sure if you haven't had a chance, make sure you go to your podcast on your iPhone. If you have an iPhone right now, look down on there and look at that purple button that says podcast. Go on there. Search for The Wayne Bradley Show, and that way you can have the show every day. After we're done, it goes there. And so if you missed anything, or if you want to share it with your friends, you can go on there and do that. You can also go to SoundCloud and look up The Wayne Bradley Show. If you have an Android and you carry the SoundCloud app. So many great ways to listen to The Wayne Bradley Show. You can also download the Spreaker app and listen on there. And finally, you can go to the website conservativebro.com, where you can listen to all my shows, some great polls and other interesting articles. So go to conservativebro.com. And join the site and get involved, and follow me on Twitter at Conservative Bro. I appreciate it. It's been a great show today. Thanks for all the callers. You guys, again, make the show. I'm just the host. Thanks again for listening to The Wayne Bradley Show on 910 AM, your superstation, the future of radio. Peace.
What you need to know. Listen up, it's The Wayne Bradley Show. That's what it is. It's The Wayne Bradley Show. That's what it is. Listen up, it's The Wayne Bradley Show. It's The Wayne Bradley Show. It's The Wayne Bradley Show. Yeah.
I like to spend my time with family and friends.
I like to spend my time doing what I love and learning new things.
which is why I go to Oak Street Health. You want health care, how you need it, and when you need it.
That means spending more time with your doctor, who knows you and your story, and listens for as long as you need.
And appointments whenever you need, today, tomorrow, or next week.
Oak Street Health, doctors for adults on Medicare.
Visit oakstreethealth.com for more information. Now is your time to be healthy.
910 AM Superstation is in a league of its own. We are the only talk radio station in the Metro Detroit area sensitive to the African American community.
Make sure you join us on what station?
910 AM the Superstation.
910 AM.
910 AM.
On 910 AM Superstation.
910 AM Superstation, Metro Detroit's only African American based talk radio station. 910 AM Superstation. We're the voice of facts.
Now, in 1971, this one, it's appropriate because we just passed through a lot of cold weather here.
Yeah.
We had some temperatures that went below zero, and that's just flat temperatures, not even including the wind chill. And, of course, the wind chill was really bad. In 1971, at a place called Prospect Creek Camp in Alaska, the lowest temperature ever recorded in the United States happened, and it was minus 80 degrees.
You can't live in that weather.
Can't live. If you try...
You can't breathe.
I'll tell you what else you can't do. If you try to spit, by the time the spit left your mouth and hit the ground, it would be frozen. It would be frozen. Let me tell you.
Negative 80 degrees?
That's
crazy.
You're talking about cold? Yeah, that's cold.
910 AM Superstation. We are the future of radio. .910 AM Superstation has arrived, and we're here to stay. We got the topics, the guests, the opinions, and the facts.
And I do believe, Dr. Vita, you are with us. Well, you have the snow days phenomenon up here, and we don't just do snow days, we do cold days here in this region. How does that feel?
It's different. I mean, we're used to dealing with hurricanes and general weather days. What we are trying to do is create a culture where we offer school and try to create a rhythm and cadence to attending school, so we don't disrupt that to create a situation where students become used to not going to school or finding excuses not to go to school, but at the same time you have to be sensitive of the fact that it's too cold and we don't want children outside to where they can become ill or stranded outside because of bus transportation or being too far away from a school.
910 AM Superstation. We are the future of radio. There's always something new to talk about, and 910 AM Superstation wants to have you covered from every angle.
Roy McAllister, he's here in the building. What's up, Roy?
Pastor Moore, thank you so much.
I want to rehash a little bit about the green light.
Well, the first thing is the fact that the Green Light Initiative started in District 2 at the Marathon gas station over on Wyoming and 6 Mile. If somebody sees something, they will not engage in any type of activity. It's not the fact that it's wrong on one side, right on the other side. What we have to do is we have to come together.
Green light, it's okay for what it is, but if you're going to just say the green lights is used as a deterrent or to make a station safer, it will make a person think about it. But don't say the green lights is stopping crime, is a source to fight crime. You're not fighting crime. What you're doing really is pushing crime down the block. That criminal-minded person is still out there looking for a victim.
910 AM Superstation. We are the future.